Garchu, and welcome aboard to this episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. This is a podcast dedicated to following the entire story of One Piece from beginning to end as we focus on each volume. We keep the discussion spoiler free for new fans of the series, so this is the perfect place to follow along, whether you're new to the series or just want to revisit the world of One Piece with us. This week, we will be covering the second part of Volume 81, Let's Go See the Cat Viper, which covers chapters 812 through 816. My name is Joel, I'll be your host, and joining me today we have Evan.
Garchu.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be Evan and I today. Cody is a little busy with the schedule, but he'll be back with us next week. But we want to keep the train rolling here and see what's going on with Zoe. So before we move on, I'm going to give a quick recap from where we left off. The Strats learned that Jack from the Animal Kingdom Pirates was looking for a samurai named Raizo, willing to attack and torture the minks to learn his whereabouts. They also meet Dogstorm, who is one of the two kings of Zoe, though he and the other king, Cat Viper, do not get along. The Strats that left Dressrosa early managed to evade Big Mom's crew and arrived at Zoe just in time to help the minks recover from the deadly gas that Jack used, which was created by Caesar. However, the Big Mom pirates learn the Strats' destination and Peckham's knows how to get there. All right, so we're just going to dive right in with the cover story. We have Dex the World, 500 Million Man Arc, Volume 6, Kokoyashi. How dare you use this problematic photo on her bounty poster? Genzo is not happy with the photo used for Nami's wanted poster, but he and Nojiko still framed the photo on the wall.
Cute. I love these.
Yeah.
They got their basket of tangerines.
Yeah, Nami's always making her post for the wanted poster. She's like, well, if you're going to take my picture, you might as well make it a good one.
Yeah. She hired a professional photographer. Snail photographer.
Yeah, and then Genzo's reaction is still funny. Yeah, I don't know if he's calling the Navy to complain about the photo use.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I just noticed his transponder now that looks like him. This guy gets close.
Yeah, got matching hats, matching shirts. Amazing.
It's like, oh, you shop here too? Okay.
Whose snail is this again?
All right, so let's get to the chapter. We have chapter 812, Capone Gang Bege. When Peckham's and Bege arrived at Zoe, Peckham's was outraged to see the damage to his hometown. Peckham's was relieved to find his friends and family were okay. When Caesar learned the Big Mom pirates arrived, he begged the Strats to hide him from them. He admitted that he misused funds she provided to him and is afraid of the consequences if they find out. Sanji decided to confront the Big Mom pirates. Peckham's expressed his gratitude for saving his people. He was willing to let them go this time in order to return the favor, but Bege shot Peckham's in the back, determined to get the job done himself. He unleashed his crew from the palm of his hand using the Castle Fruit ability, surrounding them. He also knew Caesar was there and demanded that he come out as well. He brought the Straw Hats and Caesar into his body, holding them captive except Sanji. He handed Sanji an invitation to Big Mom's tea party in order to celebrate the wedding of Vinsmoke, Sanji, and Charlotte Pudding. Okay.
Starting to come together.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what are your reactions to what's going on here?
Oh, I mean, from the top, we really see Capone Bege showing his true colors here. I feel like he shows no sympathy, is quick to act, and is pretty ruthless here, taking down Peckham's, his ally.
Yeah, I really got that kind of gangster mentality here.
Yep.
He's not
and also
the stereotypes.
Yeah. And his devil fruit is crazy. Like the Castle fruit is wild.
Yeah.
Being able to create like a fortress inside himself and even like project like a stand-in version of himself within himself. Like it's just so weird. Definitely not where you want to be being the Straw Hats, like literally trapped in this inside the Castle fruit.
Yeah, like we actually did see like a little bit of his powers back in Sabaody, but when I remember reading this arc, it must have been like a while because I didn't remember how much you actually did see of his abilities back in Sabaody. But this does kind of give us a little bit more of an understanding of the ability, I think, and it kind of shows again, like you said, like there's kind of like the version of himself inside of his body, and he kind of goes like on autopilot on the outside yeah, he goes inside and has, like, that conversation and stuff, but, yeah, it's cool to see the ability and, how he can, shrink down like an army. When you think he's alone, he's not. He's got his whole crew with him.
Yeah, such a unique devil fruit, and he's not afraid to use that power. And then
Yeah,
we get
pretty
this
cool.
huge reveal at the end. The Vin Smoke family name is dropped,
Yeah,
which is kind of wild. I mean, Sanji's reaction here is pretty telling, I think. He's clearly very like unsettled, and that lands really heavily with him.
yeah. He's even dropping his cigarette, so you know it's a big deal.
He's even dropping his cigarette. Whoa.
It's pretty crazy to learn, this little detail about Sanji. Like, we don't have the full picture yet,
Hmm.
but there is clearly more to Sanji than, as the reader that we've been, let on. So, the fact that he has another name, like, 'cause,
Yeah.
we have, like, Roro Zoro, we have Monkey D. Luffy, like, we've had their names before, but, like, Sanji's just been Sanji this whole time. So now there's another layer to Sanji's history that is now being brought up here.
Yeah. Pretty wild. It's crazy we've gone 81 volumes without getting any of like Sanji's family or lineage until now.
Yeah,
And now it seems like to be some very crucial information.
yeah. And they must be important enough because he's basically having an arranged marriage with Big Mom's daughter.
Yeah. Of the Charlotte family. That's
Yep.
also a new last name we're getting.
I don't know if Big Mom's name's been revealed before, but it's, Charlotte Linlin. Um,
Charlotte Linlin. Linlin
yeah,
kind of
I feel like
sounds
it's come up
familiar.
before. Yeah, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I feel like it has, but I could be
Hmm.
wrong. But yeah, so the Charlotte would be the family name, for Big Mom. Yeah, so this
Wow.
is
And
also,
there's even an invitation.
yep, this explains a little bit of why, Sanji is probably not here.
Yeah.
He's been invited elsewhere.
It's going to get married real quick. No big deal. No, I mean, I'm definitely getting like a strong like mafia crime family vibe from Beige
For sure.
Capone.
Yeah.
So,
He's making an offer that he can't refuse.
yeah, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. No, you will. You do not get an option to RSVP. We've already made the decision for
Yeah,
you.
we already checked yes for you.
Yeah,
But I like seeing a little bit of, Peckham's in the situation, so we also know why Peckham's was able to track them down to Zoe, because he's from Zoe.
right.
So we find out he's a mink as well, which makes sense 'cause,
Checks out.
yeah, he's a talking animal, so probably, if he's not a Zoan, he's probably a mink, so
Right.
but he's a Zoan too, so he's both. Which actually for, Capone, he shot Peckham's in the back, but that's where
Yeah.
his shell's supposed to be, so I don't know if his shell can go away or if it's just like it was just, like, so strong that it could kinda, like,
Oh
hurt him through
yeah,
the shell.
that's a good point. I'd kind of forgotten about that.
Yeah. Or maybe that kinda protected him from taking more damage,
Sure.
but yeah, I feel like his shell probably should have been able to block the bullets because I feel like that's kinda like how he's used his shell in the past.
Mm. But these were Gatling guns from Point Blank.
Hmm, or the cannonballs.
Maybe they're cannonballs. We see two guys with like Gatling looking
Are they like
guns.
Tommy guns?
Yeah, that's how I'm reading it, but it's wild. So like the bullets leave his hand tiny, and then once they like get far enough away from his body, they become life size again.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
and then, Peckham's, was like, "Ah, you dirty rat."
Yeah, ruthless.
But yeah, Peckham's is gonna be cool to them. He was like, "Hey, you guys helped my people. I'm gonna cut you some slack." So, like, there's a little bit of humanity here to Peckham's because up to this point,
Hmm.
he seems to have been like a very loyal, faithful, servant to Big Mom. But
Right.
now we see that he's actually kind of choosing the Minx over Big Mom, and Capone, punishes him for it. But Peckham's didn't see that coming because he's like used to being the one in power. He's like, I'll deal the consequences with Big Mom, but you guys did a huge favor to me. Like you guys helped my family and my friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was kind of being grateful, and yeah, he was willing to do that. So it's unfortunate that he was kind of the infighting with Capone.
Capone does not care.
Yeah. The other thing we also learned too is that Caesar is afraid of being brought to Big Mom because he was using the funds for things other than what she was providing him the
Mm,
money for. So he's getting like research money for certain things that Big Mom was like, "Hey, I want you to research this for me," and she was
right.
funding his research, but he was like, "I'm going to do it for whatever I want. I'm going to spend on other things." So now he's afraid he's gonna, be in big trouble with Big Mom.
Yep.
All right, you got anything else on this one?
I'm good.
Okay, so we can move along. Next up, we have Decks of the World 500 Million Man Arc, Volume 7, Twin Cape, Laboons and Good Spirits. Laboon is happy to hear from Crocus that his friends are doing well.
Yeah. All these decks of the world are making me smile.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
really great little callbacks.
nice little check in. Even this little seagull guy looks pretty happy. Looks like he's got a little smile on his face.
All smiles.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the chapter with chapter 813 Tea Party Invitation. Everyone was shocked by this development. Sanji was confused why his family would drag him into their business now. Nami recalled that it was strange that Sanji was from the North Blue, yet somehow ended up in the East Blue. Sanji declared that he had no interest in going along with this wedding and knew Luffy would not join Big Mom's pirates through the marriage. Bege made it clear he wasn't asking for his decision, and that was already made for him. As they spoke, Bege's real body was already on the move. Vito, one of Bege's men, whispered something to Sanji and was surprised about what they know. Sanji wrote Luffy a letter and kicked his friends out. He figured out that they must have changed his wanted poster, so they need him alive. Cat Viper confronted Bege, but Bege did not want to fight. He got what he came for and took off. Sanji's letter said he was going to be a woman and will be right back. Typical Sanji.
Typical Sanji. Just gonna go off and do my own thing for a minute.
Of course, it's a girl.
Of course, it's a girl.
Nah, this time it wasn't his choice.
Yeah, but you feel the gravity of the situation. Like he's taking this very seriously. It's clearly real. Like it's not like this is conjecture or anything. Like he's understands the weight of the situation, realizes the implications of it, and has to kind of act accordingly, and ends up like prioritizing getting the rest of the Straw Hats out of here, and for good reason. I mean,
Yeah.
this, like I was just saying in the last chapter, we see the interior, but here we see Beige taking or Capone taking like control over the castle within him, and like
Yeah.
using it to morph and manipulate the surroundings, which is pretty wild. Such a cool illustration here of the chandeliers turning on him
Yeah, it's
and the
pretty neat.
candelabra like becoming these blades, and the walls become cannons, and the cloth becomes like a constricting device. And it's just like, yeah, you don't want to mess with Capone in the castle fruit.
Yeah, he's got the home field advantage here for sure.
For sure. But yeah, there definitely seems to be a sense of obligation. And like you said, we see Sanji put his cigarette out, which I don't think we've ever seen that before.
But yeah, I like that Sanji is still defiant. So again, Sanji knows his family, and he's clearly tried to distance himself from them. So Sanji knows how serious the situation is and what his history with his family is. But we as a reader and the Straits don't know. So we don't know why Sanji would react this strongly. But Sanji is afraid of his friends getting dragged into, his family's business and another emperor's business. And I like that Sanji stands firm here and says Luffy is the man who will be the king of the pirates. So he's
Mhm.
still, stating here like I'm not gonna like sacrifice Luffy's dream because of me. So he's like I don't want to be the reason why Luffy can't pursue that. Sanji realizes that he has to handle the situation before the rest of the Straw Hats can kind of like do it. So basically, it's Sanji that's gonna be holding up their journey. So he doesn't want to be the one to
Right.
to stop that.
Yeah, it feels like his past is like catching up to him here, and he has this like obligation or like responsibility that he doesn't want the shots to get like caught up in.
Yeah, because if he goes through with the marriage, like the standard practice that they have here would be that the crew would be absorbed into Big Mom's crew,
Hmm.
and Sanji doesn't want that to happen to the Straw Hats. He knows that Luffy won't go along with that.
Right.
so that's not
Yeah.
really an
No.
option.
No chance.
Yeah. But yeah, then he's using language like, "So my past was never meant to come back for me again, but now it's time for me to face it once and for all." And then Brooke says, "Huh, me? Not us?" So,
Mm,
Sanji sees it again as his personal responsibility and not something that he wants his friends and the crew to get tied up with.
right. Yeah. He's like, I gotta do this alone, and then chucks them out the door.
Yeah. But yeah, he's seeing the wanted poster and realizes that must be why, it was changed to only alive as opposed to dead or alive. So he
Right.
realized that, like, he's kinda like a pawn in their game, and he has a value that they specifically wanted him alive because they want him for this purpose.
Right.
So he's like, "You can't kill me because, I'm too important for the situation." So recognize that
It
he's kind of
feels
being lowballed.
political. Feels like a political move. Yeah. It was interesting seeing Sanji like, it didn't take him any time to put these puzzle pieces together. Like he acted
Yeah.
with recognition and concern, like not surprise or confusion. Like he knew exactly what was up and the weight of it, and like took action to
Yeah.
like, protect his people. And like he's like, right now, I got to go deal with this thing
Yeah.
alone.
Yeah, which leads to, the letter being written, so now we know what it says, but it's a little bit more simple than, we probably would have expected. It doesn't really give us too much information either. Like, we now know the context, but just reading the
Yeah,
letter, it sounds very simple. That doesn't really say much to Sanji.
yeah. Not the first time the crew's gotten this letter before, right?
Yeah, but Sanji does say he will be back, so he doesn't seem to be abandoning them. He's like, "Hey, this is temporary."
Right.
At least that's what Sanji's saying.
Silly Sanji. You don't think your friends are gonna want to help you out here? Like, come on.
Well, Zoro's not, that's for sure. She's like,
Yeah, well, Zoro's definitely not.
we don't need that dead weight."
Zoro's like, I called this.
I knew that guy was trouble from day
I
one.
knew this was gonna happen eventually.
Alright, anything else for this one?
I'm good.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Dex of the World, 500 Million Man Arc, Volume 8, Drum Kingdom, new design for the soldiers' helmets. Dalton soldiers have adopted helmets with antlers like choppers.
Aw, they're so cute.
Yeah, so it's nice that Chopper
Love
is
it.
being represented in the kingdom. Before, like, they were afraid of him, but now he's kinda like their pride.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
It's a great turn of events.
Yeah, and then we, also see, like the Lopin in the back also looks like probably part of the army wearing the helmet.
Amazing. Wish we got to see
Okay.
those guys in the live action, but you can't
Yeah,
you can't do it all.
they did what they could. Yeah, but if listeners wanna hear our thoughts on the live action, we do have an episode dedicated to it, so feel free to check that out if
Check
you
it
haven't done
out.
so already. Alright, but for now, let's move on to the next chapter. With chapter 814, let's go see the Cat Viper. As the Strats continue to make their way to Cat Viper in the present day, Brooke sings a little song. As they discuss what to do about Sanji, Luffy is trying to wrap his head around the situation. It seems Sanji is likely leaving the crew in order to spare his friends. Zoro points out that they are already on a trajectory to confront Kaido. Luffy wants to go meet Sanji in person and learn what he truly wants to do. They arrive at the whale forest where Cat Viper lives. They are greeted by Pedro, who is currently on guard duty. Chopper is upset to learn that Cat Viper is taking a bath and has been disregarding his direct medical instructions. Luffy and Nami decide to go talk to Peckham to see what they can learn about Sanji's situation. He tells them that Sanji's father is famous in the underground world, and the Vinsmokes are a family of killers. All right, so adding a little bit more to that thread, giving us a little bit more context for the Vinsmoke family, maybe why Sanji has chosen to distance himself from them.
Yeah, this doesn't sound good. Sounds like bad news.
Bad news. Yeah, so as they go to see the Cat Viper, they're trying to decide, like, what they should be doing based on, what they've just learned about Sanji. So now that they have a little bit more information. Yeah, so Luffy kinda has the same attitude that he did with, like, Rebecca, where it's like, "I want you to make the decision for yourself, like, what do you want to do?" Like, he wants to give the people the power to make their decisions. Luffy wants to speak to Sanji and learn if this is really what he wants to do or if he feels like he's being forced into the situation. Luffy does want to make sure that his friend is doing what he feels is right for himself and not what he's being forced to do.
Yeah, if he needs to hear it from Sanji,
Yeah.
he's like, I need answers,
Yeah.
which I think makes sense given the
Yeah.
context.
Yeah. So, like, they're talking about it here, and then Luffy's like, "Yeah, but it says here that he'll be back. Oh, does that mean he'll be bringing his wife with him?" And they're like, "Oh, I suppose we'll have a new crew member."
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. Right before that discussion, we see Brooks playing a song about the cat viper,
Yeah.
and he says it's a image song. Yeah, it's an image song.
Mm.
Like, do we think that the image of the cat viper that's kind of like floating in the air here is an actual result of Brooks playing the instrument and he's like creating an image?
My impression is it's kinda like his imagination, but, I don't know. I didn't think of it that way, but now that you mention it, that's a possibility because we do kinda have like, in the world of One Piece, it's not something that would be that
Yeah.
outlandish.
No, yeah, our bard's casting an illusion spell.
Yeah,
Like, that's kind of how I read it because he says it's an image song. An image song is in quotes, and I feel like this is something Oda loves to do, where he just like sneaks in this little like power move that Brooks has that we might see later in a more tactical manner. Because
that's interesting.
Robin's also like, oh, that's a lovely song. Is that what the cat viper is like?
He's like, "Not really."
Not really. He said he's not like that. It's an image song. So I wonder if like the image is real.
Yeah, so my take was just it was kinda like it's just kinda like something I created as, like,
Right.
how I imagine, like, a cat viper to be, not necessarily the truth, but the fact that they have this little image here in the picture, because I was just reading it, this just kinda like we're imagining what the cat viper looks like. I mean, we see them now, but it's kinda like what the story's trying to tell from they're kinda like a little character song, I think.
Right.
Um But there could be some credibility to what you're saying. I don't know for sure,
Yeah.
but, we've seen things like Miss Golden Week where it's like she can like, she was able to, like, use her paint and her hypnotism to create these
Right.
things that she shouldn't have been able to, so
Totally. I guess time will tell. But it definitely felt like that might be important later.
yeah, that's an interesting read,
The
so
image
yeah.
song.
Yes, and then as they travel along, Robin also seems to be familiar with the name Vinsmoke, so she says she's heard it before.
Mhm.
So Robin seems to maybe have some kind of knowledge about the Vinsmokes, but she can't quite place it. But she seems pretty confident that she's heard the name before at least. Then Zoro brings up this point that they're kind of stuck on a course, and going after Sanji is going to interfere with the course because they've already set things into motion where they're on the radar of Kaido. So they kind of at a point of no return where Kaido is going to want to come after them. So yeah, he says Jack, the guy who wrecked this place, is not just some far off menace anymore. It's only a matter of time before he comes down on us. So if they try to go help Sanji, then that's gonna be another emperor that they might get stuck dealing with. So they might be like in over their heads here.
Yeah. They're kind of finding themselves between two emperors,
Yeah. Which is not ideal.
which is crazy. It's just like, how cool is it that we're in that part of this story where it's like, do we fight? Do we face this emperor? Do we
Yeah.
face this emperor? I mean, we got
Yeah.
options now. It's like there's like the magnitude of that precarious position is pretty wild.
Yeah.
The stakes just keep on rising. It's interesting, like the topic of like personal freedom versus like family obligation here. It's like Sanji feels he's like, this is a family obligation. I personally need to deal with this. And then, but Luffy's also feeling the same way about Sanji. He's like, this is
Yeah.
a family obligation. Like, I need to like, I personally need to do this. It's like,
Yeah.
we've always seen that like loyalty to the Straw Hats, like especially regarding crewmates, is like not negotiable. Like that is
Right.
always kind of always takes precedence. That comes before the mission. That comes before everything else. And I think it's a little foolish that Sanji didn't like think that that was how Luffy would react. But I also understand that in that moment he's thinking about like what he needs to do, and so
Yeah, he might just feel like he doesn't have that many options, so he's
yeah,
trying to do what he feels is the best of the worst options. So, but yeah, that's a good point because Luffy he feels personally responsible for his crew as the captain, and they're like a found family. He's not going to let one of his crew be stolen from him, against their will. And
yeah,
Luffy didn't authorize this. Luffy
yep,
wants to make sure because it seems like he would let Sanji leave the crew if he was willing to do so. If that was his decision, like I don't think he would force Sanji to stay on the crew if that's not what he really wanted to do anymore.
hmm,
But I also feel like Luffy would have a hard time accepting it to be true. But I don't know.
yeah,
I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, in this case here, I think Luffy at least wants Sanji to be the one to make that decision.
yeah. Yeah, Luffy's pretty adamant, and also Nami, I think, is like a little uncharacteristically adamant here too. Like she's very defensive of Sanji in this
Yeah,
chapter, which I kind of like seeing because it feels a little like a little out of character for her. But I think that's just shows the connection that they've built as a crew, and that
yeah,
she feels really strongly that like no crewmate gets left behind kind of mentality.
yeah. And I think Nami, um, in like the day to day life, she'll get annoyed by them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Understandable. But at the end of the day, I also think she has that bond that she also
Hmm.
doesn't want to lose anybody either.
Yep.
And she knows that Sanji is sacrificing himself for his crew. So I think she also doesn't want to accept that. So yeah, I just think that that's a big part of it for Nami in particular.
Hmm.
Because she's like Sanji's doing this for us, and we can't let him be the one to take this all on his own when we're
Yep.
here to help. So yeah, I think it's just like that camaraderie that they've built as a crew, and that really shows their strength over the time.
Yeah. I think Zoro tries to be the reality check, but it is
Yep.
I think quickly talked down. But
Yeah.
like, since when does Luffy ever take the reality check? Like, he
Yeah.
doesn't. Like that's
Well
statistically not really a. Go ahead.
well, yeah, I mean, sometimes they need that. Sometimes they just need to have, like, a different opinion. But maybe like in Punk Hazard where Zoro's kinda goofy, like, "We're in the new world, you need to get your act together."
Mm,
So Zoro's kinda like the one that tries to, like, keep level head in those kinds of situations.
totally.
So I think regardless of if this is Sanji, I think if it was anybody else in the crew, Zoro would have the same outlook on things. So
Hmm.
it's just kinda nice that Zoro is there to kinda balance out, like, the over concern for Sanji with the rest of the crew, whereas,
Yeah.
like, Zoro's kinda like, let's think about it rationally, like, we can't just drop everything for this guy because we have to think about the reality of our situation too.
Hmm. He might just be playing a little devil's advocate as well.
Could be that too. Yeah, and then we get this good look at this Pedro character. So he was briefly shown before when Luffy was fighting, I think it was like BB, like the gorilla,
Hmm.
and was it, Roddy, the bull? But yeah, like he was part of that group that was hiding, like, in the trees to, like, ready to, like, guard if they needed to.
Yep.
But that's, like, part of his responsibility. He's part of Cat Viper's guard, for the whale forest.
Is he one of the
Uh,
Musketeers
um,
or no? Or is that Dog Storm's
I
group?
think it's Dog Storms.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was Shishoya and, like, the lion. I think it was, like, a jackal and the zebra. I don't remember their
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. It's daytime's Secret Force. This is nighttime Secret Force.
Yeah.
Or
But they're
yeah,
probably, like,
this is the
like,
Whale Force
equal.
Guardian.
Yeah, probably, like,
Sure.
equal roles.
Kind of counterparts. Yeah.
Yeah. But it just makes me laugh, like, even seeing, like, the characters like Pedro, like, rubbing up and guard chewing them, like like, so casually.
Yeah. I love the memes.
Like, "Sanji's a good fellow. I wish to help." And then I love this, first image of Cat Viper just, in the tub, eating lasagna, singing, Fancy Feast.
Yep.
And Chopper's like, "This is not what I prescribed for my, my, medical instructions. You are going to hurt yourself."
Yeah, this is fun.
So I like seeing, like, the kind of the lighter side of Cat Viper because we've kinda seen him in, like, action mode,
Right.
like, every time we see him was, like, in a flashback. So now we're kinda
Hmm.
seeing him, like, in his current state, and he's a bit more, chill and, like, happy-go-lucky than we've seen him
Yeah.
before.
Yeah, I'm a big Cat Viper fan.
And then I love how, like, as they're talking, there's this random ball that just starts, bouncing, and then he runs after it because he can't resist, and then, like, he, like, hurts himself because Chopper was like, "What did I tell you not to, like, overexert yourself?"
Yep.
You can't help it.
Chopper's always worrying.
Yep. Oh, then, yeah, Robin has, like, the little cat toy where, he's, like, pawing at it.
Yeah, this is fun. This is a fun scene.
Yeah. And then Luffy calls, Peckham's, Lion Viper, so he's, like, getting them confused. 'Cause they go see Peckham's while, yeah, Chopper and Brook
Classic.
and Robin check on, Cat Viper. But, yeah, they try to find out more information from Peckham's about what's going on with, like, Sanji's family and stuff like that, so this is where he tells them about how he's a famous man in the underworld.
Yikes. Not good. Kind of makes sense why it's getting mixed up with Big Mom, though.
Yep. Okay, anything else on this one?
I'm good to move on.
Alrighty. Next up, we have Dex of the World, 500 Million Man Arc, Volume 9, Kingdom of Alabasta. BB and Karu think fondly of their time with the Straw Hats.
Vivi.
At least that's what I'm imagining. But yeah, it looks like they're kind of just like happy that their friends are doing well. Karu's cutting out like old, looks like maybe
Car
the
was
wine
scrapbooking.
posters. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like he might have like a book in the back with the other cutouts from the newspaper.
Yeah. Car was scrapbooking. Very cute.
It's funny that he's using scissors with his wings.
Yeah. Love it. Man, it's been so long since we've seen Vivi.
Yeah, right?
All of these flashbacks. It's just like crazy how far we've come
Yep.
since
Blast from the
Alabasta.
past. Yeah.
Yeah. Wild.
All right. Getting into the chapter, we have chapter 815 Take Me With You. Peckhams tells the Straw Hats that Sanji's family runs the Germa Double Six organization. Nami thought they were just a rumor, but Peckhams assures them that they are real. Luffy doesn't care if Sanji gets married, he just wants to know if he's coming back. Peckhams tells him Sanji has no choice in the matter once Big Mom invites someone to a tea party. If they refuse, they will receive a present, a box with the head of someone they care about. He warns him not to mess with one of the four emperors. He also tells him that the reason for the marriage is political and not to take the Straw Hats under the Big Mom banner. Once Sanji is married, he will no longer be a Straw Hat. Luffy is furious at this, insisting that Sanji is part of his crew and refuse the marriage. Luffy tells Peckham to take him with him when he returns to Big Mom. Luffy says he'll go alone and infiltrate, but Peckham hasn't agreed to anything. The rest of the crew, along with Cat Viper, meet up with them. Law and the Heart Pirates arrive as well. They fill them in on what's going on. Luffy tells Law he's going to get Sanji, but Law tells Luffy Kaido will come after them in the meantime, putting Zoe in danger. Grateful for the pirates' concern, the Minks decide to throw a feast. Robin, Frankie, and Brooke decide to guard the entrance of Zoe in case Kinemon and Kandro try to get in, not wanting more chaos. Unfortunately, they fell asleep and the warriors from Wano arrived in the morning. Thinking the pirates were concerned for their well-being to make sure they arrive safely, they decide to let them rest as they enter Zoe. Variete runs off ahead, planning to inform the Minks the samurai have arrived.
Yeah. Oh, you know what happened last time? Not good.
Had one job.
They had one job, snoozing.
All right. So then we also find out that the Vince Smoke they run German Double Six, which is
Yeah,
the organization of a group of warmongers.
it's getting sketchier and sketchier.
Yeah.
I'm getting like, yeah, mob, cartel, mafia vibes for sure.
Hmm. Yeah. And
And
then
the Vin Smokes are in the middle of it.
yeah. And then we also find out the results if Sanji refuses, they are going to pull like a Godfather type of situation and
Yep.
send the the head of somebody that they care about in a box to Sanji. Basically, like, hey, we're gonna kill somebody that you care about, and we're going to make sure you know about it.
Yikes. Yeah. Sounds like these people are not messing around. But again, I think it's lost on Luffy. Luffy's like, no, we're not gonna become part of their crew. They're gonna become part of our crew. They're gonna follow us, which kind of feels like classic Luffy.
Right.
Like he's speaking about dealing with an emperor like it's just the next obstacle, like it's just the next thing. It's
Hmm.
like that's just a natural thing that has to happen for me to get what I want. So of course that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
And Sanji's like, I gotta go handle this alone. And Luffy's like, what an idiot. I gotta go handle this alone.
Let me handle this alone.
Nah, I didn't need to handle it alone.
Oh,
So we'll
I
see
think,
how that.
yeah, that's fine, but it also does show, Luffy's concerned because he's willing to make the trip himself, put himself in danger to save Sanji, so that
Mhm.
way it also doesn't derail the rest of his crew. But that also feels like kind of like a recipe for disaster because we know Luffy is, not the stealthiest person. We saw him try and Nimble down, and it was only lasted for so long before he was, causing a jailbreak, so
Yeah. Yeah, subtlety and stealth are definitely not his strong suits.
yeah. But yeah, so it seems, Sanji goes through the marriage, then it's essentially him leaving the crew. It's like, "Hey,
Right.
we don't care about you guys. This is just for the Vinsmokes. We just need Sanji." So it's like, Sanji could choose to go through the marriage without dragging the rest of the Strats in, but, they're not willing to accept that, of course.
Luffy's mind seems to be made up, though.
Uh-huh.
I love how while this is all being discussed and kind of plans are being haphazardly made, Law kind of strolls up. Mister has everything planned out, walks up, and it's just like a circus. Like he like walks up to this just like complete circus. Um, I'm very curious to hear what he has to say to Luffy.
Yeah, and, he goes to introduce his, crew to Luffy, and he's just like, "Yo," and then and then he just was like, "Hey, we need to talk," like, and then, like, Pap was like, "That's it?" And then, like, the rest of the crew's like, "Ah, man, that was it, like, we got disrespected." It's like, we expected more.
Yeah,
So it's kinda like it's a little unfortunate. It's like they could have been, like, a bit more buddy-buddy, but I think they,
sure.
yeah, they just kinda took Luffy and lost a serious situation, personally, so
Yeah. They even struck a pose. You see that? Like
Yep, doing the Karate Kid pose.
Karate Kid pose, yeah. Charlie's Angels.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true too, yeah, the Charlie's Angels, it was,
Yeah,
done, yeah.
they were ready for a big party, welcoming party.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe they'll be teaming up soon. We'll see.
we'll see. Yeah, and then Law makes a good point where if they leave to go after Sanji and they go to Big Mom's if they go to Big Mom to try to, like, save Sanji, then they kinda also leave Zoe vulnerable for additional attacks. Because like, if, Jack or more of, like, Kaido's crew comes back, then they could be right back in the situation, like, fighting for their lives, and they're already, like, still recovering. Like, they're not fully recovered from the previous, incident. So it
Yeah,
could be really bad if they do get attacked again.
right. He's kind of mirroring what Zoro was warning
Mhm.
before, and it's just like whether you like it or not, like the gears have started turning. Like we've started something that we can't just walk away from or
Right.
put on pause. Like this is inevitable. This is coming. This is gonna happen,
Yeah.
and we're not ready for it. We need to be prepared for this. Like and it's no small thing. It's not something that can just be simply ignored or put off.
Yep.
Again, we're talking about an emperor. Like it's crazy that we're like again stuck between confronting two emperors right now. Like,
Yeah, so we're getting at the point of the series where, Luffy almost fought like an admiral. Now he's got, like, emperors coming after him, so it's kinda like he's getting to that point where,
yeah,
eventually he's gonna have to, like, face them, but is it coming sooner than later? Who knows?
I mean, he's ready to run over to Big Mom right now and be like,
Yeah.
call it off.
He's ready in Fishman Island.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's just like as the repercussions or the stakes are getting higher, you can see it affecting the people around Luffy, but it still doesn't really seem to affect Luffy.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's everyone trying to like again force the reality of the situation into his perspective, being like, "This is Kaido, like king of the beasts. We can't just be like, I'll call you back.' It's like he's gonna be knocking on the door, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be, you got to be ready for that, which is wild."
Yeah, so then, I like how they decide to, just throw a feast, like, when all this is going on, it's like, "Hey, we're still gonna celebrate because we're happy that, you guys are here to help us and everything," so they have a little feast, but then while that's going on, Brooke, Robin, and Frankie go to the entrance of Zoe. Frankie rocking the Whale Forest, hairdo
Yes,
now.
let's go. It's looking good, looking sharp.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and that's, funny that they all fell asleep. Kinemon and Kanjuro thought that they were concerned about them, so like, "Oh, we shouldn't disturb them, they were so kind to care about us, so we'll let them rest."
Yeah,
Yeah, and then, I love this little, Torasuburoro character, the tiger,
yeah.
and he also joins the, Ryunosuke and the elephant, which is getting some tattoos.
Yep. Pretty sweet tats.
And then, Barriete is ready to sound the alarms. The samurai have arrived.
Yep. Things are about to escalate quick.
Okay, good to move on to the last chapter for the volume.
I'm good.
Okay, so, before we get into the chapter, we have the next part of the cover story. Decks of the World, 500 Million Man Arc, Volume 10, Water 7. You finally did it! Gelly Law is impressed with Frankie's new creation featured on his wanted poster.
Mecha Frankie. Again, big smile seeing all these characters again.
Yeah. And, I like how, people who lose, hair is now just spiky in all different directions instead of just, like, the one color.
Yeah, it's gotten worse.
Yeah. Paulie's looking a little spiffy over here, though. He's wearing a suit and tie.
Yeah, looking sharp.
Okay,
You're right.
so let's get into the chapter. We have chapter 816, Cat versus Dog. When the Strats woke up, they saw Conjure's latest creation was added next to Rinosuke, luring them that they missed the samurai entering the country. Ariete has already begun to ring the warning bell, mobilizing Dogstorm and Cat Viper with their forces. Kanjuro and Kinemon hear the bell, thinking it must be a sign of welcome. They wonder about the rumors while it told them about the minks being man-eaters. Momonosuke found them and was happy to see that they made it safely. These threats managed to find and subdue the samurai before they were spotted. However, Dogstorm and Cat Viper inadvertently came across each other. Having not seen each other since the torture, they start mocking the other and start to clash. Kinemon sees this and then shows himself, shouting them for them to stop fighting. Usopp tries to stop him, but it's too late. Kinemon announces himself and states that he is seeking his comrade Raizo. To the Strat's surprise, Dogstorm and Cat Viper bow down to Kinemon and Kanjuro. With tears in their eyes, they report that Raizo is alive and well. Cat Viper apologizes that they had kept the secret from the Straw Hats, but they consider the Kazuki clan from Wano to be their brothers and would never sell out their comrades to an enemy.
What an amazing turn of events. This is such a beautiful scene. Oh my
Yeah,
god. Incredible. Yeah, absolutely love this chapter. This is great.
yeah.
We got a few reunions. We got Kinemon and Kanjuro reuniting with Momonosuke.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get Cat Viper and Dogstorm also having a little reunion,
Yeah.
but that's quickly
less,
interrupted.
yeah, less
I
happy
I
one.
yeah. I don't know. I still think that it's like a Brogy,
And Dory.
like, and yeah, thank you, Brogy and Dory situation where like I think they're brothers, but it's like it's a cat and dog. So I think there's like an instinctual rivalry between them where they have to fight. But maybe like that's how they show their respect to one another, is by fighting each other.
Well, I think they used to get along really well before, then something happened that now made them hate each other. So yeah, they're just at a point where I think they just generally don't like each other.
Mm,
But they could also be like that, like sort of like sibling kind of bickering too at the same time.
yeah.
And just because like they've known each other for so long.
But their roles also permit them to never be together. Like they're not supposed to ever really interact. due
Yeah, but
to
I think that's
their
by
roles.
design because, like, I think they do that specifically because they don't wanna see the other person. So
Oh, okay.
they don't wanna come across by accident, so they intentionally have their day and night cycles be opposite, so that way they can avoid each other at all costs.
All right. I'm misreading it. I'm just hopelessly
Well,
optimistic that
there
deep down they're
there could be
actually,
some of that too, but,
yeah,
I think it's mostly that they just really don't like each other now.
fighting like cats and dogs.
Yeah, so this is, this is fun because like, it's definitely tense because, like, up to this point, it's been like, "Shh, don't mention the samurai. We don't wanna let them know that they came with us." We
Mhm.
don't wanna, like, upset them if they hear the samurai because we know what they went through. So
Right.
there's, like, all that tension, and then we see, like, everything's about to, like, boil over. We're gonna reach that tipping point. And then it kinda subverts your expectation where it's like, "Oh, we were waiting for you. We have a close bond with the, Kazuki family from Wano, and
Mhm.
Raizo is here." After everything that they went through, and they denied Raizo's here, they got tortured, they lost limbs, they almost died to protect the secret, but they were
Mhm.
willing to go to those lengths in order to not give up their ally.
Incredible. You really see the Minx like extraordinary sense of like honor and loyalty here,
Yeah.
because it turns out everyone was in on it.
Yep.
You know, it wasn't just the leaders
Right.
who swallowed that. It was like every single person
Yeah.
acted in unity there, and that's touching and pretty beautiful. Yeah, I think this was such a great reveal, and the build up to this I think was incredible.
Yeah, so did this surprise you?
Yeah, I did. I was
Okay.
like, yeah, it was like a really big sense of like shock and relief, and yeah, it was emotional. I mean, it's emotional for all the characters as well, like having seen this city near basically destroyed, people tortured, people
Yeah.
enduring pain and loss, all for a single ally.
Yeah.
Um, is powerful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this caught me by surprise, when I first read it, so I thought this was a great reveal, but you've
Yeah,
also picked up on things that I hadn't, so I was also worried that you would pick up on things, a little early on this one, so I'm glad that this was a surprise because I think this is, Oda does a great job of subverting your expectations and, building up the situation and being like, "Don't let the samurai get mentioned," "Don't let them see the samurai," so I feel like Oda
right.
really kind of planted that, and by the time you get to this point, he's able to kinda turn it on its head and be like, "Yep, Rise was here.
Yeah,
They're in with the samurai." So
because I mean, because they never came clean with the Straw Hats even after the fact, and they
yeah,
even once they realized the Straw Hats were allies and their saviors, they still didn't let them in on it.
exactly.
So I feel like
That's
that
how
was
important the
the
secret
extra
was to them.
mile. Yeah, I think they went that extra mile there, and that was I was definitely taken by surprise. But again, I think this was a beautifully written sequence,
Yeah,
and that
agreed.
was also a great page turn too
Yeah,
to see them both bowing. Be great.
yeah, agreed. And at the bottom of the page, all the reactions, everybody's shocked.
Yeah,
Even Zoro looks, like, really shocked too.
yeah, shocking.
And Frankie's crying. I love that Frankie, like, is crying. Oh, and then the Usopp with the eyes bulging out, like
Yeah, yeah, it's a cool turn of events, and now we know that the Minks and the Wano are actually like very deeply entrenched in one another and loyal to one another, which is very cool.
Yeah, and then, now that you have the reveal, the conversation that Kamo has with Kandro a little bit earlier, about the rumors about the Minx, it gives a little different context because they know the
Yeah,
Minx. So Kamon's like, when did these weird rumors about the Minx about being man-eating people start? Like, they're not like that. So I wonder, like, when did this start happening? Have we been, like, out of
mm,
touch with the world? Like, how did this rumor get started? Like,
yeah,
so I think it's funny that we get to see, where Kamon's actually coming from, with that
yep.
conversation early in the chapter.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, I mean, this moment recontextualizes a lot. The
Yeah.
all like Jack's attack and everything. You see through a different light. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, it's beautiful what the Minks did here, and now has me very curious about this Raizo guy.
Yeah.
Very curious.
And, also more about, I think, the relationship with the, Kozuki clan,
Hmm.
um, because if they're so close, like, what is the main reason why they felt they had to protect their secrets, like, so much that
Right.
they go these lengths and make sure that Raizo was safe and why they wanted to meet with the samurai. So I'm
It's
hoping
gotta
that
be big.
the next few chapters can give a little bit more insight to that. But we're kind of just like left in this state of being like, we have to like reevaluate this entire relationship and try to see like what kind of relationship they actually do have with each other.
Yeah. And again, I feel an undercurrent of something like pretty big happening here because of what they endured and the secrecy behind it all. I feel like it's got to be something worthwhile, like something very important. So I
Could
can't
be.
wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's where we wrap things up for this volume.
Yeah. Oh man, got so many questions.
Yeah. But we
We
did
did
get
get some
quite a
answers
few
though.
answers. We did.
Yeah, we did. We did. That's true. This was a satisfying podcast for that. Like
Yeah.
there was a lot of mystery declouded, but I know I still got some more questions.
It's just like Oda. He gives you some answers and makes you
Yeah,
ask more questions. So
give and take for sure.
that's why I think One Piece can be so addicting though, is because is like, oh, but like what's the next thing? You know, there's always like,
Yeah,
oh, the next thing. So it's like there's always something to look forward to. You never
absolutely.
get everything like all up front. You never get like all the answers like here you go. There's always things that like he's kind of planting and teasing towards the future.
And also like the scale and severity and stakes of everything also just is slowly growing because it's like now we're talking about facing emperors. It's like we just defeated Doflamingo, who is this
Yeah.
incredibly huge villain, and now we're talking about these two bigger guys that he was working under, basically,
Yeah,
which
because
is wild.
he Doflamingo was not at the top of the food chain. So
Right. Like, and we're just working our way right up. And like now we're right in the
yep.
middle of these other two massive, massive enemies or like adversaries. And it's just kind of crazy that here we are. And it's just like, what's going to happen?
Yeah. So this is the new world, and I feel like Oda's doing a good job of making it feel like it's inevitable that
Yeah.
Luffy is going to have to start to take on these tougher enemies. Like the fact he had to take on Doflamingo, who we seen pretty early on in the series, but we hadn't really seen his actual capabilities.
Mhm.
Um, but like seeing Doflamingo in action was pretty terrifying. We saw how formidable it was and how tough it was for him to be defeated. So
Right.
it's like, now that we're starting to see, like, a high caliber of enemies, and I think it's just gonna get tougher from here.
Yeah. I mean, when you want to be king of the pirates, it's an uphill one way path, and I think Oda does a good job of like keeping that relevant, being like, this is no small dream that Luffy's trying to accomplish. Like he's aiming for the top, and so you can't go down. There's only up.
Mhm.
You
Yep.
know, it's
Just
just like
commit.
the stakes keep growing. Yeah.
Alright, but that will conclude this week's episode of the We Are Reading One Piece podcast. You can find this episode wherever podcasts are found at We Reading One Piece podcast.buzzsprout.com or on the YouTube channel at We Reading One Piece. This is a spoiler-free channel up to where we have recorded the podcast, so if you're new to the series, you can visit the channel there. You can also find me and this podcast on my YouTube channel at Pirate King Codex for more One Piece content. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can reach us at wereadingonepiece at gmail.com. We'd love to hear from listeners, so if you're enjoying the show, or if you have any suggestions on how we can make it better, let us know. Next episode, we'll be starting volume 82, The World is Restless. I've been Joel, and I've been joined by Evan.
Thanks for listening.
All right, well, be sure to bring along all the hopes and dreams, and we'll see you on the next episode.